Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin already tapped almost 68,000 here this morning as October in full swing. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis and quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser. MicroStrategy converts Bitcoin volatility into cash flow by selling volatility in the options market. Then they buy more Bitcoin with the proceeds. The sailor put on Bitcoin price is real. All 5 revenue streams go into buying more of the Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs see 556 million worth of inflows in its biggest day since June, as well as macro guru Luke Gromen predicts dollar collapse amid deteriorating U.S. fiscal situation. I'll be sharing the timeline, as well as Trump leads Harris, but POTUS won't matter for Bitcoin, according to BlackRock's Larry Fink. And speaking of Trump, Trump's crypto project now claims 100,000 signups ahead of the token sale, which is supposed to start today. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin RSI says $233,000 Bitcoin price action in play for Q1 2025. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do so. Then hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today is pod episode 1788. I'm your host, JV. Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin does best during October, and that's ripping. We're still up over 1,000 on the day. We did already virtually tap 68, and the bullish momentum continues. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Checking out Coin 360, should be pulling up here. There we go. So yeah, you can see we're currently above 66.6 at the time of the live stream. Bitcoin's in the green, while Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and a lot of the alts are pulling back and in the red. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The crypto market cap sits at 2.29 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap is still above 1.3 trillion. We got roughly 102 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance, wow, all the way at 57.3%, a nice jump since yesterday, with the Ether dominance at 13.6%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Mu up 17%, followed by Chili's up 7.5%, followed by Phantom up 6%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Let me know. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective. Let's start on the day. I'd say 80% of the market in the red, 20% in the green. And zooming out on the monthly, 90% of the market in the green, maybe 10% in the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, we're back in greed after being stuck neutral for the past few weeks. Today is a 65. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 184,222 blocks to go into the next halving in 2028. And we're currently on block number 865,778. And you can currently get 1,514 Satoshis per dollar. A couple days ago, that was above 1,600. Probably by the end of the day, it'll be under 1,500. So stack them sats accordingly, fam. But let's continue today's technical analysis. We'll pull up some of the live charts. My trading view was hacked earlier. Someone logged in from the Philippines. I got an email, so I had to reset the passwords and all that. So we got to keep these mofos out. But yeah, this headline reads, these 5 Bitcoin price metrics end at a new all-time high this year, 2024. Let's break some of the metrics down. But first, I want to quote again the high priest. MicroStrategy converts Bitcoin volatility into cash flow by selling the volatility in the option markets. Then they buy more Bitcoin with the proceeds. The sailor put on Bitcoin price is real. All 5 revenue streams go into buying more Bitcoin, breaking down how Mikey Saylor does it. But yeah, here are some of the factors very bullish in the markets. Bitcoin open interest reach all-time high. Bitcoin open interest weighted perpetual futures funding rate hit the monument or multi-month high, indicating the current bullish sentiment may continue for the short term. And according to CoinGlass, the current Bitcoin open interest weighted fund rate sits at 0.0136, a level last seen on June 7th when Bitcoin briefly hit 72. Positive funding rates generally indicate the bullish market sentiments, but given the volatile nature of the crypto market, they should be interpreted with caution, like anything else. Quoting Crypto Quant, the rise in funding rates further points to the bullish sentiment amongst the traders? Let me know if you agree. Next bullish factor, Bitcoin supply on the exchanges, downtrend continues. I believe we just hit like a 5-year low, which is definitely, near a 5-year low, according to data from CryptoQuant. This is the least amount of Bitcoin available on the exchanges. So can you say supply shock? As of October 15, centralized crypto exchanges held about 2.68 million BTC, a 20% drop from the all-time high of 3.37 million Bitcoin reached back in July of 2021. This is occurring alongside a 55% year-to-date growth in the Bitcoin price. I mean, the charts don't lie. It shows you right here the Bitcoin reserves on the exchanges, 5-year low, just above 2 million. So let's go. And declining supply on the exchanges suggests that the traders prefer holding Bitcoin over selling them for fiat or other digital assets. That's right. Never keep your crypto on the exchanges. This also raises the Bitcoin potential to continue the 2024 bull. Now let's discuss increasing demand for the spot Bitcoin ETFs. We'll touch upon it because we're going to dive deeper into a specific story regarding this later. But as you can see, continued demand for Bitcoin will come from the institutional investors as they continue pouring the capital into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. According to So Value Investors, US-based spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded positive flows in 4 out of the last 7 trading days. In October 14th, we saw more than 558 million or 555.8 million worth of inflows, which is monstrous. Also, we have the RSI hinting at 233,000, which I'm going to be breaking down in great detail a little later here in the stream. And we also have Bitcoin sitting on a strong 200-day simple moving average support, another bullish indicator. Several attempts have been made to reclaim this level of the recent past, but each has failed to spark a broader price trend. Note that the last 3 times the Bitcoin price broke above the 200-day simple moving average, it experienced a parabolic move. So is this another deja vu moment? Let me know your thoughts. And we'll break that baby down. And you can see here, there's a chart showing the simple moving average sitting at 63.3 within 61 and 63 demand zone, where approximately 1.1 million Bitcoin were previously bought by 2.5 million addresses. This chart suggests that Bitcoin sits on a relatively strong support compared to the resistance it faces in the recovery path, suggesting that the path with the least resistance is upward. And now let's pull up some of the live charts via TradingView. TradingView shows you here live and in the flesh via Coinbase exchange. You can see we tapped a recent high today of 67,744 on Coinbase, and followed by that mega green candle you can see on the hourly chart. We had a mega red candle take us right back down a couple of thousand, and we're currently climbing back to retest some of these levels. So looking pretty bullish on the 1-hour chart clearly. Let's zoom out some. We'll check out the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart also looking bullish. We had 2 4-hour green candle closes. We do have a blue target sitting all the way at 81,300, as well as a bear green target sitting at 41.6. And zooming out from there, we'll check out the 1-day chart, and followed by the 1 week and the 1 month. 1-day chart shows you the rising wedge formation. We do have a couple of bear targets, one sitting at 51.1 and one sitting at, it looks like 41.6. And zooming out from there, we'll check out the 1 week, which still has that sexy cup and handle pattern, which should be pulling up any second. I don't know why there's a bit of delay there, but you should see it now. You're sitting at 123.8 at this current time. And zooming out a little further, we'll check out the monthly chart. Again, we're in October, and historically, the last 2 weeks of October is extremely parabolic. So we're starting to get that momentum now. Let me know if you think this will be a super uber bullish month for October. Let me know your thoughts, family. And again, welcome anyone. Let's get into these ETF inflows, which have been extraordinary to say the least. Headline reads, U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF see 556 million of inflows in its biggest day since June. That's right. The 11 ETFs on aggregate net inflow of roughly 556 million, October 14th, which was yesterday, their largest daily net inflow since early June, according to data from Farside. The big day came as Bitcoin hit 2-week high of 66.5 in late trading. ETF store president Nate Gerasi called it a monster day for spot Bitcoin ETFs, adding they were now approaching 20 billion in net inflows over the past 10 months, not too shabby. Quoting him here, simply redonkulous and blows away every pre-launch demand estimate. This is not degen retail. It's advisors and institutional investors continuing to slowly adopt. The Fidelity Wise Origin fund for Bitcoin was the leader of the pack with an inflow of 239 million, its highest since June 4th. And then we have the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, which is BitB, which had a little over 100 million, while the BlackRock iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT saw inflows of roughly 80 million. ARK21 shares ARKB had inflows just under 70 million, and GBTC saw its first inflow about time for October at 37.8 million. Hallelujah. Its highest since early May. And also Bloomberg ETF analyst Balchunas compared to Bitcoin ETFs to the gold-based products, noting that since the January launch of the Bitcoin funds, the asset has hit all-time high 5 times. Meanwhile, gold has hit a record high 30 times this year, but gold ETFs have only seen 1.4 billion in net inflows compared with more than 19 billion for the Bitcoin ETFs, as Balchunas points out. But still, Ethereum funds were not enjoying the same momentum. Womp womp. With zero net flows for Bitwise, VanEck, Franklin, and Grayscale, and minor flows for Fidelity and Invesco, the BlackRock iShares Ethereum Trust had an inflow of 14.3 million, bringing the total to $17 million. So there you have it, yo. I think these ETFs are just getting warmed up. BlackRock knows what's good. They're going to continue to accumulate. Macro guru Luke Gromen predicts dollar collapse amid deteriorating U.S. fiscal situation. Let's break down the timeline from Luke Gromen. Here we go. In a new interview on the Trader's Edge pod, Groman says the Fed is essentially stuck with low interest rates due to the inability of the U.S. government to afford to service its debt with higher Fed fund rates. Groman said the Fed is being forced to cut the rates, not because inflation in the economy has cooled down, but because the U.S. government's financial situation is now so bad it requires low rates. The Forest of the Trees founder, FTT, says the government needs to juice the stock market in order to get tax receipts to back up above interest expenses. Quoting him here, in America, because we don't make anything on net anymore, the only way to get receipts up is to juice the stock market or reduce interest expense, and ideally both. So what's the easiest way to juice the market and get interest expense down? It's cutting rates. Since they couldn't cut entitlements, they couldn't cut the defense. Here we are. And as a reaction to the realization of the U.S. government now cornered by mounting debt and interest expenses, Groman says that a weaker dollar over the next year is the most likely scenario. I mean, common sense, right? Your purchasing power of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to continue to lose its purchasing power, while the opposite is true with Bitcoin, mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power against the dollar, because Bitcoin has a finite limited supply. They can't print more. And the dollar, they're going to print till the wheels fall off. He predicts that the DXY, which is the U.S. dollar index, which pits the U.S. dollar against a basket of other major foreign currencies, will drop up to 10%, a deep pullback for the world's reserve currency. Quoting him here. So to me, when I then look at this secularly, I think, okay, tactically, for the next month or 2 months as a trader, I think the dollar is probably a bid, and I think stocks and markets remain volatile. Ultimately, they go higher because I think the economy is going to be much stronger than people think, and that makes sense to me. Secularly, I don't know when it is going to hit consensus. Oh my God, they should be raising and they're going to cut, or they can't raise because the fiscal situation is there. And then I think we'll get a follow through on the dollar, that where we're starting to see. We've seen the dollar go from 114 to 100 very quietly over the last 2 years. It bounced to 102. I think it goes to the low 90s over the next 12 to 14 months after this 1 to 2 month period of tactical bounce we talk about from a trader's perspective. So there you have. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I ultimately agree with the sentiment that the dollar is guaranteed to continue to weaken. I mean, that's a given. So let me know. Now let's discuss the Trump-Harris situation. As you know, election around the corner. Trump leads Harris, but POTUS won't matter for Bitcoin, according to BlackRock's Larry Fink. That's right. Former U.S. President Trump leads over Vice President Harris, and it's growing with more people betting on his election victory in decentralized prediction markets. And this is where people putting their money where their mouth is. Trump's odds of winning the U.S. presidential election surpassed the bets on Harris's victory by 13 points today, according to a leading prediction market Poly market, let's go. 56.3% chance of Trump winning. Kamala's down to 43.3%. The odds flipped in Trump's favor October 4th, marking a sharp reversal from September, and by October 12th, Trump was leading by over 10 points. Decentralized prediction markets could be more accurate in predicting the results of the election than traditional polling. Why? There's money on the line. And according to billionaire tech guru Elon Musk, who recently ramped up his support for the former Republican president, and I think since he's came out and endorsed him, the polls have been going even higher. Trump is generally seen as a more innovation-friendly candidate for the crypto space, while some investors are concerned that a potential Harris presidency could stifle it will stifle blockchain innovation. There's no doubt about it. Now, despite the crypto industry's focus on the 2024 election, the outcome may not have a significant impact on Bitcoin, according to Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. This is because Bitcoin is its own asset class and could transcend global politics, according to Fink. During BlackRock's earnings call for the third quarter, here's what he had to share. I'm not sure if either president or other candidate would make a difference. I do believe the utilization of digital assets is going to become more and more of a reality worldwide. And here's Larry Fink, quoting what he shared on that call. Now, meanwhile, thanks to the upcoming U.S. elections, the betting volume on prediction markets rose over 565% in quarter three to reach $3.1 billion across the three largest markets. The significant growth in prediction market volume was attributed to the increasing bets of the U.S. election drawing near, according to the October 14th CoinGecko report, which stated prediction markets picked up steam in 2024 Q3, growing 565% due to the pundits betting on the upcoming U.S. election. Now, if you were to bet, who do you think will likely win the presidential election right around the corner? What do we got? 2-3 weeks out, yo. It's going to come before you know it. This headline reads, Trump's crypto project claims 100,000 signups ahead of the token sale. Good Lord. The Donald Trump-backed crypto project World Liberty Financial claims it has secured more than 100,000 signups before the public token launch on October 15th. And quoting the high priest regarding this launch, he says Trump failed the Bitcoin IQ test. Let me know if you agree with that. And that was actually the topic in yesterday's pod. If you missed it, you go back and watch it. I encourage you to do so. In the meandering 30-minute long October 14 X Space offered little new info. The platform's head of operations, Zach Folkman, said WLFI token would be an Ethereum-based ERC20 token and reiterated it would function as the governance asset for the DeFi platform. Folkman, along with fellow World Liberty Financial team members Chase Hetto and Zach Witkoff, rehashed info shared days earlier, October 11th, saying that the platform will allow users to borrow and lend crypto, create and interact with liquidity pools, and transact with the stables. Now, in the United States of America, the platform is only open to accredited investors, those approved by the SEC to invest in unregistered securities, and who typically earn more than $200,000 a year. So this is for high net worth individuals and have over $1 million worth of assets. Hero announced that Paxos co-founder Rich Teo would join the team as the project stablecoin and payments lead. In the X Space last month to launch the project, Folkman explained that a 63% allocation of the WLFI tokens would be sold to whitelisted members of the public today, October 15th, while 17% will go towards user rewards and 20% will be paid to the team. And according to the leak white paper, the WLFI token will be non-transferable for 12 months from distribution, though it can be used immediately by the holders to participate in the governance votes. The white paper also showed that the project plans to raise $300 million from the token sales. It'll be interesting to see if they get $300 million in token sales today, the day they go live, considering there's 100,000 of them on a waiting list, which would put it at a valuation of $1.5 billion, just like that. The space also saw a brief appearance from the Aave CEO and founder, who said he was super excited and happy that World Liberty Financial was using Aave for its borrowing and lending functionality. And if you're not familiar with Aave, it's a decentralized protocol for borrowing against your Bitcoin. Now, speaking briefly on the space, Trump Jr. listed as the Project Web3 ambassador, praised World Liberty Financial as introducing a more equitable financial system for the regular citizens, and slammed the U.S. banking system as a big Ponzi scheme. Meanwhile, the World Liberty Financial platform will start off as a DeFi lending platform with an October 9th proposal confirming it'll launch as an Aave instance on the Ethereum network, with plans to expand further to Ethereum Layer 2 network Scroll. The WLFI token sale will begin 3 weeks from the United States elections on November 5th. Former President Trump, the Republican presidential candidate, vowed to establish the U.S. as a crypto capital of the world if he clinches victory in November. Meanwhile, Trump leads rival Harris by 9% on the decentralized betting platform Polymarket, as we previously pointed out. But there you go, let me know your thoughts. Now for our featured story of the day. Bitcoin RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index, a metric we often use here on the pod, says 233,000 Bitcoin price in play and possible here for Q1, which is right around the corner. We just entered Q4. So in another 3 months, we'll be in Q1 of 2025. So let's break this baby down and let me know, how would a 233,000 Bitcoin price action impact your life? Let me know in the comments. And after I'm done reading this, I'll read your comments out loud. So here we go. Bitcoin price action is currently consolidating above $67,000, around that ballpark at the time of the live stream. And applying standard deviation to the monthly RSI, analysts suggest that the top of the current bull market may equate to about $250,000. Let's break it down. This is possible by referencing the historical highs of the monthly RSI readings, again, which is the Relative Strength Index metric, which corresponds to the blow-off tops on the biddy. Quoting him here, the top of the trend channel for the monthly RSI is around 88.6 in Q1 of 2025. If you're expecting it not to get hit, then you believe this time is different. And such a short deadline in itself, not out of the ordinary. As the prediction notes, Bitcoin's previous bull market produced rapid upsides towards the macro peaks. Quoting him again, there is plenty of apathy and disbelief in the market right now. After a long consolidation, perfect time for price to rip higher, further than the hive mind believes. Last cycle, price went from 10,000 to 67,000 in 7 months, largely driven by Grayscale buying 400,000 biddies. Now we have trillions of TradFi dollars waiting to FOMO like a mofo after the price discovery, and after they realize it is not a triple top. So BitData21 added that there was more confluence, with Bitcoin reaching the 250,000 zone that would be uploaded to X at a later date. So those seeking Bitcoin price breakouts often use this RSI metric as a forward-looking indicator. We share it every day when I pull up the live charts via TradingView, as we did earlier today. And on the lower time frames, the daily RSI stood at around 62.7 today, October 15th, per TradingView, above the key 50 midpoint, but not yet breaching the overbought 70 mark. Trader Mag supported the idea that the monthly RSI may not only pass 70, it could hit the extreme levels. Quoting him here, each bull cycle, Bitcoin peaks when the monthly RSI enters the extreme overbought zone at above 90. We haven't seen that happen in this cycle yet. The monthly RSI still has a lot of room to grow. And if history repeats, the next leg up will be epic. And let's dissect this motherfrickin' chart, shall we? Check this out, family. You should be able to see it live on your screen. Let's blow the mofo up. So yeah, check it. You can see the previous cycles. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is where we're currently at for the halving. We've had 3 previous halvings. The very first halving in Bitcoin history was in 2012. The market went absolutely parabolic, and in 2013 hit that cycle peak of 13,000. Big correction, as you can see on the chart. And then we ascended after the next halving of 2016. The year preceding the halving, we hit the next cycle peak at a roughly 20,000 top. Then we corrected again in the Bitcoin winter, consolidated, and then we ran up again in 2020, the year of the halving. And then by 2021, I believe it was November 10th, we hit the $69,000 all-time high. And in my humble opinion, we would have hit 100,000 very realistically back in 2021 if we didn't have scammers like Scam Bankman-Fried and Terra Luna's Do Kwon destroying the industry. And if we didn't have incompetent criminal regulators working for the SEC, I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who I'm talking about. That's just in my opinion. And then obviously we had the bear winter. And then I think early 2022, we were sub 20,000. And obviously we just had a halving this year of 2024 back in April. I think it was April 19th. And you can see the circle of the halving roughly where we're at. So if history is to rhyme, which typically it does if it doesn't necessarily repeat, we can very realistically see a $220,000 target, potentially $233,000. In fact, my bear scenario for this particular cycle is 222 G's. My bull scenario, and I think we hit this in 2025, is this high is 750. I think most likely it'll be between 222 and 750. So the medium there, average would be roughly 500,000 per Bitcoin, which is right in alignment with Plan B stock to flow model that projects Bitcoin hovering above $500,000 between 2024 and the next halving scheduled to take place in 2028. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm going to read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Christopher says, the position of the 220 looks like a 500 G's. There's a lot of bullish signals, says Greg Poppin. Bitcoin above the 200-day simple moving average, the golden MACD cross on the weekly in the RSI, D equals 65, W equals 57, means all are in the bullish control zone. More push-ups, y'all. You can do all them push-ups to pump up your chest, but Bitcoin's going to pump up the rest. How do you like that? We're going to dominate.